So, it has arrived, the hot topic of the day, my Hcalory TB Max diesel heater. This is just going to be a real quick review of it, and then tomorrow or Tuesday I'm going to take off and head up into the mountains and check it out, try it in real life. So this heater has a true remote temperature control. The wireless remote doubles as an indoor thermostat. So in theory, I can be laying in bed in my hiker, have the remote control up by my head, and that's where it will sense the temperature in the room and control the temperature to whatever I've set it at. It has a 3-minute warm-up, and I had it running earlier today. It did not need any priming. It just started right up. It has a 2-gallon tank, and they advertise 62.5 hours running time on that 2 gallons, which, you know, the way I'll use it is probably like 10 nights. It's extremely quiet. I heard a little bit of clicking of the pump when it first started up, but I did not hear anything afterwards, and we'll run it in a little while to show you that. They also advertise all-terrain adaptive performance, which means it's good up to 18,000 feet in elevation. The remote control that I showed you a minute ago has a built-in CO2 sensor on it, so if you're in the middle of the night and there's too much carbon monoxide, it'll let you know that you're dead. So it's the TB Max, has a wireless remote, and fuel tank capacity, as I said, is 2 gallons. It runs on 12, 24, 110, 120 volts. Has altitude reference up to 18,000 feet. Fuel consumption is 0.03 gallons per hour. Heating area is 215 cubic feet, or 289 cubic feet. The hiker is, hold on a minute. So the hiker is only 128 cubic feet. 5 by 8 times about 4 feet in height. Hiker comes with, or not the hiker, the heater comes with an extension cord for this remote right here. The remote pops out. You can put an extension cord, a 5-foot extension cord on it, and then move it to wherever you want to, but I don't. They ship the heater with this non-insulated hose, which I didn't even bother with. I replaced it immediately. I bought an 8-foot heated or insulated heater hose, and then I used a silicone adapter right here. I'll show you that. I'll put a link to it up in the corner somewhere for this end, because the hose is a little bigger in diameter than the inside, or than the outlet was. And then on the other end, where it's going to hook to the hiker, I used a Valtura bayonet connection, and then just slid the hose over that. It slides right over the fat end of that, and then clamp it down. Works perfectly. And so that's how I'm going to hook it up. I'll set it on top of my fridge box on my hiker, and let her rip. Obviously, it comes with an exhaust pipe and a muffler. So let's crank it up. So it's starting up right now. Don't know if you can hear, but the glow plug is starting to work. Maybe you can see that. See what's going on here. Supposedly a 3-minute startup. So while this is starting up, I just tell you, I'm really excited to get this out in the woods and try it this week. And for you Canadian people, it's Not going to be that cold. It'll probably be in the low 30s. Maybe 30 degrees. It was 30 degrees last time I was up there. And I managed to sleep fine under all the covers inside the hiker. It was 36 degrees inside the hiker when I woke up. So I really don't need this at that point, but I'm looking forward to being able to just throw a light blanket on me and sleep without the air, the ambient air around me being cold. Can you hear it? There's a little bit of knocking. There's that pump starting up. Exhaust is starting to heat up a little bit. Now it's ramping up. The air at the outlet end is still cold, but it's only been, what, half a minute. Starting to warm up at the outlet. I can tell you that no bigger than the hiker is. I'm sure I'll be able to run this on low on the number 1 setting, set it on temperature control, and not worry about it all night. Yeah, it's starting to warm up. Actually, right now it's about as warm as I would ever need it to be, and it's just cranking up, getting started. I don't know how hot that's going to get, so I don't want it on my countertop. I don't feel any heat underneath, just on the pipe, but nothing actually underneath. To turn the remote on, you just flip the switch. Telling me 60 degrees right now, which is about right. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a lot of heat coming out into this hose right now. And there's no clicking of the pump. So once I put this on the front of the hiker and get it going, I don't think I'll even hear it inside the hiker. You can hear the exhaust. That's it. There's no heat underneath. So it's up on 1.5 feet. So I can set it anywhere, as long as this pipe doesn't get in touch with something flammable. I've seen people do demonstrations of the fuel cap and tip it over and tilt it around and mess with it, and it does not leak. So that's a good thing. I also do not smell anything. I have to figure out the remote control. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. 14. Well, I was fooling around with the remote, and the two numbers I was seeing were changing from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Now it's a simple click of the button, and then I screwed around and held this button too long, the power on, power off, and turned my thing off. So let's turn it back on. Maybe. All right, it's cranking back up. I fooled around to hit the right button. It's a new toy. In about a year or two, I'll have it totally figured out, no doubt. I better have it figured out because I'm 75. I may not last longer. By the way, when I get up in the woods this weekend, I've got another new toy to play with. It's a Fiskar X11 splitting axe hatchet. So I get to play with that and see how that works. I've got two other hatchets, S-Wings, and they're okay for chopping, but not that great for splitting. So while I'm thinking about it, it also came with the extension cable, which I already mentioned, and a wiring harness to set it up for 12 volt. This is set up to just plug into or hook to the batteries, directly to the battery, which I don't know that I'm going to use that. I don't know how I'm going to power it right now. And it came with some clamps and other stuff that I wound up not using. I have it on the lowest setting. I've got my hand about 3 feet away from it, 2.5, 3 feet, and I've got a fan going above me, and I can still feel the heat. So it's going to be beautiful inside the hiker. Go over here and I'll show you where I intend to hook it up. I've got my generator set in the way right now, but I've got these Valtura vents on here. I'm just going to screw that bayonet on there, set the heater up here somewhere. I'll just move some stuff and just let it run up there. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do for power, how I'm going to power it.